Hi, I'm Dr. Kevin Tharp. I want to talk to you today about innovation in education. And whenever I look up synonyms for innovation, the key word is change. And it would be really hard to argue that we're not going through serious change in education, in society, in the way that humans communicate with each other. So we need to look at how can we use all these changes that are happening in education to make us more effective and efficient in what we're doing? And that's what I'm talking about today. I'm specifically talking about how you can use virtual reality in all of its different forms to make you more efficient in what you're doing and help you to better accomplish the goal, which frankly, as an instructor, my goal is learning. That is why I'm there, to help students to learn. But the thing I have the least of is time. So I always have to look at this balance of where do I spend my time and how does that accomplish me to help the students to learn. So the technology I'm talking today about is virtual reality, and virtual reality might be augmented reality, it might be holograms, who knows where it's going to go, because every single day, if you're watching television or surfing the internet, you're seeing new innovations come out in the technology itself. So how can we leverage this technology that's becoming consumer accessible to a point where it is accessible to our students to use as a learning environment? But for us to do that, it has to be accessible to the instructor as a content tool, because essentially that's what we're doing when we're developing curriculum, is we're creating content. So those are the balances that I have to look at. So I'm a systems thinker. I always think form follows function. How does this help me to accomplish my goal? The other thing is that it needs to be interesting. The best compliment I ever got, I was doing a live lecture in a class, and I used a video that I had created in virtual reality, but I hadn't had a chance to narrate, to talk about search engine results pages and how Google gets to the point, or Bing or whoever gets to the point where they're showing the search engine results in that page. If you're not a total geek, it's not that interesting. So how do I take and make this interesting to students? And I use virtual reality to do that. When I was done showing the video and narrating it live, one of the students said, "You just blew me away." So that is a win. I was able to get that student engaged, and student engagement is the key to learning. So the content has to be interesting. Another real advantage today is if it's interactive. If they're able to go in and put their hands on something that will allow them to interact with the content, it gets even more interesting. And as we move forward with the technology, that's actually getting easier and easier. Things that we couldn't do a year ago, we can do now. For instance, I've got a gallery set up through TiltBrush on the Google system that allows my students to come in and actually access some of the sketches that I make on a flat screen, whether it's their phone or their laptop, but it allows them to move around within that three-dimensional space. And I'll show you one of my favorite drawings that I use to illustrate this. But the other thing is, it has to be efficient. How can we make the most of our time? And what I've found is that I can create learning content in about the same amount of time that it would take me to make a PowerPoint of the same content, and it's just so much more interesting. Let me show you some of the things that I've been doing to maybe help to spark your mind of how you can use this new technology to help you to help your students to learn.